world. Welcome back.
We're so glad to join you again.
We've seen you go through a lot throughout history.
Keep being kind. Keep being smart. This too shall pass.
A lot's happened since we shared the story of Jesus' birth.
And weren't the Magnificent Magi the best?
I'm the Angel Gabriel.
And I'm the Angel Gabrielle.
We help God pass along important news, and tonight's a very important moment in Jesus' story. After the tragic events of this week,
after a lifetime of miracles, Jesus has another one in store for us tonight.
For millennia, we've watched you try to solve this one.
Now, you've been telling stories for as long as you've been you.
Telling stories is one of the best things that you do, and we love hearing it.
The one about the speedy messenger with wings on his heels.
They go up here, buddy.
The one about the Viking with a mighty hammer.
Pro tip, a flaming sword works better.
When you try to understand the mysteries of creation, you tell a story to try to explain it.
You see, you like to think that you're so smart.
And you are.
Walking around, spouting this and that, and for the most part, doing a great job reasoning the world into nice, neat piles of understanding.
One thing that you understand very well is when life turns into death. It's difficult, and it happens nearly every day, but you can get through that transition because you've been doing it for as long as you've been you.
Death into life is different.
This night, the Easter Vigil, is when you gather together to retell your stories, then try, like crazy, to understand the hardest one yet. The greatest mystery, Jesus' death into new life. So, let's do it again.
One more time.
We love listening to you.
Like so many times before.
And this won't be the last.
Let's gather together.
To tell the stories.
One more time.
And try to understand what got you to this point.
Then, watch you try to figure out what happens next.
For this first story, you'll need your glow sticks.
If you don't have one, walk over to the light switch and get ready, because here comes a story about creation from our book of Genesis.
Each time that I say day, please arc your glow stick like this, or like Gabriel suggested, flip the light switch. In the beginning, the earth was empty. Darkness covered everything. God was there and had a plan.
Let there be light, God said. Suddenly, golden light shone all around. God called it day and called the darkness night. With the light and the darkness, the first day had passed.
On the second day, God said, "Let there be a great space." And the space was formed deep and high. And God called the space sky.
God made rivers and seas on the third day. God formed the mountains and deserts, islands and beaches. God planted tall trees, swaying grasses, and flowers of every color.
When the fourth day came, God put lights in the sky, the fiery one for daytime, the sparkling moon and dancing stars for night.
On the fifth day, God filled the waters with fish of all shapes and sizes. God made the birds to glide across the sky.
God made animals on the sixth day. Furry animals, scaly animals, smooth and sleek animals. On that day, God made humans. When God had finished, God saw that everything that was created was very good.
On the seventh day, God rested.
God made something so special, and your ancestors were charged with caring for it.
Caring for creation is a wonderful response to God's love. This next story is one of my favorites.
One of your favorites?
I like boats.
Really? We've been friends for all, and I never knew that about you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
For this next story, you'll need a water squirter. If you don't have one, that's okay. Just sit back and enjoy the story of Noah and the flood, also from Genesis.
Many years passed after the creation, and people began to forget about God.
The people began to make bad choices.
God saw their decisions and felt sad.
So God asked a good man, Noah, to build a big boat to carry something very special. Noah called it an ark.
When the ark was finished, God asked Noah to put animals into it. Noah put some of every kind of animal into the ark, then God shut the door.
Now it's time for your water squirters. Ready? Then it began to rain. A lot.
The raindrops made little puddles, then bigger puddles.
The big puddles became streams, then rushing rivers, then sloshing seas.
Soon everything that they could see was covered with water, and the ark was tossed up and down on the waves.
Noah and his family and all the animals were safe and dry inside.
One day, the rain stopped.
And then the rain stopped! It's supposed to stop!
Noah looked out the window, and he saw water everywhere.
He sent a dove to fly out and look for land, but the dove came right back. It didn't find a place to rest.
The next time Noah sent the dove, it brought back an olive branch. This meant the water was going down.
The next time, the dove didn't come back. It found a branch and then stayed there.
Suddenly there was a large lurch and a creak. Then the ark stopped. Suddenly, it was time to leave the ark.
The ark rested on top of a mountain, and Noah, then his family, and all the animals came out. Noah thanked God for keeping them safe, and God put a dazzling rainbow in the sky.
The rainbow was God's promise that the water would never cover the earth again.
In a lot of churches, the story of Moses leading the Israelites across the Red Sea comes next.
It's hard burning a fire all night.
And don't even get me started about a pillar of smoke all day long.
All that said, there are some great movies about this story.
So, later, dial up Prime Flix for family movie night, and let's keep going with the difficult story about an impossible choice.
Abraham! God has an idea to connect with creation, but it will require an impossible decision, so God needs your help.
Okay, I trust God. Isaac?
Yes?
Isaac, God told me about a place to honor God in our way and asked me to bring you.
By this point in our story, Abraham and Isaac had traveled for 3 days to get to the place that God told them to go.
Dad, where's the offering?
God will provide it for us.
Dad, we hiked all this way, we are building an altar, and we still don't have an offering.
God will provide.
Dad, what are the ropes for? I feel scared.
God will...
Stop!
Abraham, you are loving and faithful, and your family is so very important to God. Through this incredibly difficult time, you have shown courage and trusted. Most importantly, you have helped God understand the impossible choice that God needs to make later. Thank you.
Please, celebrate with Isaac and then go back to your family.
Thank you.
They went home and celebrated by naming that place God Provides.
Some people think it's where the city of Jerusalem is today. Others think it looks like this.
The important part is that one of our most special stories lives in our hearts. And here's another one that shows our ability to do wondrous things with God.
The craziest thing just happened.
What is it, Ezekiel?
I was spending time with God. We were talking about mountains and sheep and descendants then.
What?
It'll make way more sense if I write it all down. Maybe.
Gotcha. So then what?
Okay, hold on tightly. Like I said, God and I were having a regular old Tuesday morning coffee when, bam, the Spirit picked me up and placed me in the middle of a valley.
Which valley? What did it look like?
It was nice and smooth, surrounded by mountains and palm trees, kind of like Hemet. And like Hemet, the valley was filled with bones.
Bones?
Bones. Then I heard the most incredible thing.
I am the God of your forebears, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob.
我是你们先辈的上帝，亚伯拉罕的上帝，撒的上帝和亚伯。
I am who I am.
God asked the strangest question.
Do you think that these bones can come back to life?
I don't know, God. Please tell me.
Tell the bones to listen. Tell them that I will breathe life into them so that they will live again. Tell them that I will bring cartilage and muscles and tendons and skin back to them. Tell them that I will make them live again. And they will know that I am God.
So get this. I told them all of that when suddenly I heard the loudest sound of the entire valley of bones coming together into skeletons. Then, just as God said, the muscles and skin formed around the skeletons.
Creepy.
Right? But here's the best part. I heard God tell me.
Say to the breath, come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe into these bones that they might come alive.
And you know what? I did. Then a massive wind blew all around me, and they did. They all stood up and started breathing. Then God continued.
These bones belong to my people. They think that they are too tired to continue, but they are. They are capable of so much good, and I want you to tell them that I am God. Tell them that they are ready to be alive again, and to move ahead together into the wonderful vision that I have for them.
Wild, right?
And how? Now what?
Let's get to work.
It's okay that you don't understand.
That's what faith is for.
Tomorrow morning, you'll hear the story of Jesus' best miracle, when he came back to life because God had more work for him to do. Tomorrow morning, listen to the women.
Listen to the angel in the tomb. He's a good friend of mine.
As dark as things might look for life among the living.
This week has been about dying.
This entire season continues to be about reacting to uncertainty.
Easter is about Jesus' resurrection, and can be about yours too.
Now it's time to rise into new life.
We see how difficult your lives can be.
And how much pain you carry every day.
Please, let it go, then give it to God.
Whatever personal death you've experienced.
Please, let it go, then give it to God.
Now, live into resurrection.